What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Husbandry.Pro. Tonight we have be myself, Clover's Reptile, and Zac. You guys know him. He's a staple here at the Husbandry.Pro. So, tonight we're gonna be going over how to use and certain features that will help you at your expo and inventory and all that stuff. Being able to what's it called? Just keep a good inventory track because I know sometimes that's hard, especially what just happened right now in the reptile world, right? Where snakes go missing. If you have an inventory in and out, it's easier to really catch that and stuff like that. So this will probably help out with some of that stuff. But
we may need to do some real reptile tracking. Let's get some GPS chips, and
Robert's
going to put me down on this. I know he's already done it, but
put the instead of like the QRFIDs, put like Apple tags and stuff like that.
Yeah, Apple GPS tag in the snake, subdermal. Be like, oh, I know where you at. I'm watching you. I see you under the couch.
That's right. Yeah. So but that's a big thing. Keeping inventory in and out, especially in the hustle and bustle, right? Like those big shows, you talk to 200-300 people, and you forget, you might sell something, you forget to mark it down that you sold it, right? And you come back to your house and you're like, all right, I'm missing a snake, or did I sell it? And it's a whole process, right? Zac, you've been using Husbandry.Pro for how long now?
Oh, since the beginning. I was in beta.
Okay.
I used Reptile Scan before that, and Excel spreadsheets. Like even when I had Reptile Scan for a couple years, I still, had so much I did in Excel spreadsheets that I just couldn't get away from. And that's what got me with Husbandry.Pro was they did a free trial, and I went and did the free trial for 30 days. And I was like, by the end of the 30 days, I hadn't touched an Excel spreadsheet. I went ahead and signed up, and before the next 30 days were over, I had trashed them all. I did everything on there, and that was what had me.
Yeah, man. It's same thing. Once I did, when I first had a handful of stuff, I did I forgot what it was. One of the apps on the phone. It's very simple, very, backdated stuff. When I tried Husbandry.Pro, like the first week, I was like, man, I'm hooked. I don't need the rest of the 25 days. I'm hooked right now.
A lot of times it's just getting past putting your animals in. And I'll tell a lot of, like, if you're a bigger breeder with like a couple hundred animals, it's like, and you're doing a free trial, it's like, don't even try to put all your animals in. Put in like one rack worth or a section over here, and then go through and do everything for them how you would do it with Husbandry.Pro. And then do everything for the rest of your collection how you would normally do it. And you can do a side-by-side comparison. Well, crap, I just did this one, and it took me seconds, and it took me, 2 hours to go through and do all of these. And, then you don't just get caught up with like, okay, I've got 4 to 6 hours of data entry because I've got 400 animals.
Yeah. Yeah. We got some people already joining the chat. Shane, I had him on my podcast last night, and he's also one of the partners with Husbandry.Pro, Bohemian Exotics, and we have the man himself.
I see you, James.
But yeah, what to say? With what's your favorite? What's it called? Feature using for the expos and helping you with sales?
So, the thing that saves me the most time is our pricing, the pricing under the commerce, just to be able to see all my animals in a small format right there. I can see, probably 40, 30 animals on one screen, scroll through them. You just free field, change the price, and not have to like click, open another screen, click, enter your price, click, save, go back. It's just, you don't even know. You just go through and type them in. That one saves me the most time, probably more than anything else.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I'm lying. I'm lying. The label making. That's like, oh man, who remembers the cramps? Who gets cramps from their little label maker?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I used one last year. What was it? I had something on my table, and I didn't have a label, and I borrowed the label maker. I'm sitting there, and halfway this, I'm like, forget this. I'm just gonna write on the Kelly cup. You know, I can imagine.
Yes. It's got to be easy.
Yeah, that'll be rough. But I guess let's get into some of these features, man. Anything you want to bring up before we dive into the features and stuff like that?
Yeah, anyone who's watching, make sure to give a like down here. Click the subscribe button. If you go to the subscribe button, if you really want to see all these, click the little extra button and click the get notifications for all times we go live. And then you'll never miss it.
That's right.
And I believe there's a nice promo code right there to get you a second free month.
That's right. Yeah, you get 60 days free, a second free month. So, gives you another a couple more days where, like I told you, I was 5 days in, I was hooked already. So I didn't need the extra. But it's always good if you want to put in, 50 animals or so. That takes a good amount of time. It'll give you what's it called, a little more extra time to be able to do that.
Well, most people, they just need the extra time to motivate themselves to actually sit down and put the animals. Yeah. Like I signed up for the free trial. It took me 21 days to sit down and put those animals in because I was regretting and dreading. So now you got a little extra free time to play with it there. But
that's true. Yeah.
That's the hard part.
I think one of the biggest things is just getting into the groove of things. Once it becomes a second nature part of it, it's become so easy, but yeah, like Zac said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel here, hit the like button if you guys are watching live, and if you guys are watching replay. So let's take a look at this here. We'll share my screen with you guys, and we're going to do
what you want to look at first.
Man, let's go the inventory in and out.
Oh, the event check in and out. Yeah.
Yeah. The
good thing about that is because, I talk about the labels and that stuff is like, I can do a lot of that from that system. That's specifically like for us, for the vendors. Mm-hmm. That's one that's going to help you, pick out your sales list real quick, print your sales list real fast, print your labels real fast, and just do everything in there. And for your records, it's going to keep your records in there at the end of the show. It's going to, pop out and give you a detailed report showing, your sales records and everything. And you can go back and look at that, like what shows that I do good at. You can run reports on that. And so later on, analytics, you can do look backs throughout the year and see which shows were your most profitable shows. So it's clutch. It's super awesome to have.
Yeah, man. And I'll be honest, I haven't used this. I must have overlooked it or something like that. I was doing before,
like we just dropped it.
Okay.
If Robert's watching, he can correct me. I want to say it was a month to 2 months ago. It's pretty fresh. I've been testing it for a while, but I think it was maybe 2 months ago.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, did I overlook this part of it or stuff like that? Because what I was doing before was price list. And I'll create a price list, print it out, and take it with myself to the shows and stuff.
But I do still do the pricing in the pricing thing, to get everything priced up.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it as short as you can make pricing. You do still got to do your market research. That's always the longest part of the pricing is market research. But
yeah,
I have two screens open at once, and one of them's our pricing screen. And that's really where I start at. This is the pricing screen, and then I do then I go set up my event.
Yeah. So have you guys covered pricing yet? In any of the other episodes?
May have briefly touched on it, but not in detailed one.
Okay. But it's very simple, and I like the price list a lot too. Because you can filter whatever you want. The easiest for me is filtering by rack. Hatchling rack 1, and apply right. What's going on? Did it not filter? Filter. That's interesting. Oh, you know what? I haven't entered prices on those animals yet. So let's do hatchling rack 2.
Well, or they might not. So by default,
they're not being on for sale. Yep.
You know, since it's a pricing list, that one's just kind of, you can turn it off and get them to show up.
Yeah. So this is last year's stuff, you know, what I have from last year. So this has pricing. And you know, you were talking about quickly editing pricing on here.
Okay, so not on this screen. This is the pricing list screen. Go to the screen directly above this in the drop down, the pricing screen.
Okay. Gotcha. And then
this
you
is
can
my bread and
filter
butter right here.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so,
like, if it's hatching, let's say, you know, my stuff from this year, is it default to for sale?
No, this one's wide open. So because this is where you're going to go market for sale. So you need to be able to see that.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
So this one comes wide open. You can pull up your hold animals, your for sale animals. You can filter it. It's got a robust filter system.
Okay. It's got the table setting, all that stuff. You know, I don't use descriptors.
It's been updated to work right there for you.
Correct. Date for sale, show in store, sell price, discount price. I like this is another very good thing. I like the discount price thing, you know, because if you're wholesaling or something like that, you can add a wholesale discount price and send the discounted price already to a wholesaler, right?
Yes. Well, and this is one of the reasons I start in this screen when I'm getting ready for a show is because you know, a lot of us have it. You know, there's the online price, and then it's like, oh,
we
go to the show.
We lost you for a few seconds.
Price. Oh, like
so you say you're starting here.
Yeah, so I use I start here because mine says show price instead of sale price. I did a custom one. You know, and it has a percentage discount in there, and you can click on the option up there to use the discounted price, and it'll discount them for you. And so, and then I can go through and edit a few, like, oh, I don't want these to be for sale, or I want that one to be for sale for a little bit more. And you can go through and you can set up your show price. So whenever you get to the event check-in, check-out center and you're ready to, you know, tag your animals and print your labels, you can print them with that show price, but not mess up the price that you have available on the store or something like that. Cause you know, you don't want to change your store price.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you hit apply and then automatically sets the show price. You know,
there you go. See, and it automatically discounted everything. But say like that top animal that's $1,000. Well, I'm not putting him on sale, so I can just click in the field right there and just change it to 1,000. You don't have to click save or anything. You just type in the number, and that's the good part, is being able to just free flow hand type your numbers real quick, and it automatically saves. Like, you don't even have to click out of there. See that green bar that shot across the top? It just saved.
That's cool. That's perfect.
And you can go through and toggle which of your animals are for sale and whether or not they appear in your store on this screen. So, which, I mean, by default, all of my animals that are for sale go into my store. But some people don't have it set like that. You know, if you want different stuff to show different places, you know, but that all comes here. So I come here, I have my pricing, I do my show pricing. So now I'm all priced up and I'm ready to go. I know what I'm going to advertise everything at. That's when I leave this screen and then I go to the event check-in, check-out center and set up my event.
Okay. This screen is going to be a game changer because, like, I'm be honest, I wasn't using the screen. I was doing individuals, as you know. But this is going to be definitely a game changer. I really like it already. So if it's for sale, hit yes, apply, and I'm looking like, and most of the other stuff you can save a filter so you don't have to you know, show pricing, right?
Yes, like I've got some, you know, like ball pythons, or, you know, I've got only balls and no balls are my safe filters. You know, so it kind of separates them down for me real quick. Makes it easier for me to go through them real fast. However you want to separate them down. A lot of people tag groups, stuff like that, for people who have like huge collections, you know, but like, okay, let me tag the pieds, or, you know, whatever custom tags you have. You can go through and price your groups real quick.
Okay. Yeah. This is very cool. I like that a lot. You know, let's get into the event check-in and out. I was playing with it. You know, I'm going to a Repticon Orlando here at the end of December, December already. The end of July. So I already added the event information. So I guess we can go view it.
Do you want to click on the edit back there so we can see the setup part of it?
Let's go back to edit. Okay.
So did it require you to put all that stuff in there when you did it?
No. I added the information here. You know, it looks like there's
it's updated now. It did require you to fill all this out. I changed it to where now you just have to do the name. I believe it's the name, address, and the date.
Okay. Yeah, because I see there's 3 asterisks: the name, address, and load-in start date in event.
Yeah, we just changed that one last week. It used to make you fill everything out. So now you don't have to, but if you want to put all that stuff in there, you can.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah. And then, so let me ask you, because, you know, start end date, that's very simple. Now, load in date. What does the load in date affect? Does it affect anything with your inventory or how Husbandry.Pro is tracking the animals?
Not necessarily. The load in date's more for, like, you know, your records and stuff, and when you want to pull it, when it pulls the animals out of your system, because it is. Ooh, don't catch me lying. I do believe when the event starts, it makes your animals temporarily unavailable on your store. If I think there might be a setting for it.
Okay.
I'll have to ask Robert on that one.
All right. No, we'll definitely have to look at that. But yeah, if we made any changes, or I guess when we set it up, just information. So like Zac was saying, there's only 3 columns, fields: the name, the location, the address, and the start date and time. And it brings you, you know, the start day and the end date of the show. And go save the changes, and now it's listed here. Now, since you've used this already, once you've already done multiple shows, it comes up it remains here in the event list, correct? Oh, we lost Zac. Well, while he comes back, I know he was having a little bit of modem problems tonight, but we'll ask him that question. And actually, guys, let me switch my screen so I'm looking directly into here. We're going to view this. So we have the animals here. I mean, the event detail here. And I already added, you know, the animals that we're going to take that are listed for sales, the 2023 animals that are listed for sale. So these are for sure going with me to Repticon Orlando at the end of the month. So, excuse me, they're already added here. Same thing, right? Column visibilities. You can unselect or select the animal type, sex, descriptors, date of birth, weight, price, show price, customers, and actions. Or you can just do it from here. Let's see, customers there, and make the column go down. But we're going to leave them all open for now, so you guys can take a look at this. And we'll see. Let me switch my screens here so you guys can. I'm looking directly at. All right. There we go. All right. We got you back?
Hopefully. I had to switch to my backup internet source, which is a hotspot. I don't know what's going on with my internet tonight. It crashed on me earlier backstage, and I don't know what's happening.
All right. So I had saved. I don't know where you cut out, but I saved and I'm into the actual event. What's it called? Check-in now. And I previously loaded.
Yes.
Since I added, I'm going to Orlando. Yeah.
Real quick, the one I think where I cut out, I wanted to mention before, real quick, was where it says the address, it actually only requires the first address field. So because this is for you. So a lot of people just put like, you're going to Schaumburg this weekend, you know, or next weekend, just put in Schaumburg and put that in the address line, because it's just going to show up so you know where it's at.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah. You know, little stuff here and there to, you know, make a little less work, especially getting ready for shows, man. It's a mission sometimes, you know, loading in and out of animals, making this, you know, this stuff. But this does help. So I was going through the columns that we have here. I preloaded some animals already. And let's see, if here for the search button, is this searching individual animals on the
It should
that's
be
already
looking
listed?
for a specific animal.
Okay, that's already listed on the pricing sheet.
Yes, that's already for sale. That's why I start with the pricing. So, you know, I can make sure that my animals are for sale, because this is only going to pull for sale animals, because obviously, you know, for sale animals go to for sale.
Yeah. So we have price list here. There shows retails and shows. And we'll go over that because I know that takes us to another screen. But we'll concentrate on the list of the animals here. So as I was mentioning to him, you know, you can take out, like, I don't use names, right, for stuff that's for sale. And then I had a question: customers here. Is this stuff that you've already, like, maybe have for pre-sale, show pre-sold stuff like that you add customers here?
So as you sell these animals, if you utilize our invoicing system, and that's going to get you the customer's information, and it's going to it'll fill in right there that it's been, you know, the customer's info, who bought it. And so when you're at the end of the show, you'll be able to look back and see, like, it's supposed to be blank in the beginning.
Okay, perfect. So and we'll look at the invoicing after too, so we can take a look at that.
So you start off here, usually once you've set it up how you like to look at it and everything. And then you go over and you check the boxes for, or are they already in there? Did you already add them to the list?
What is the
animals? Did you already select the animals that are going to the show and then add them to the event? Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. I'm like, why did the show remove?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was saying,
now Go ahead.
So these were my 2023 babies I still have, so I know for sure they're going to Orlando with me. So I loaded them in.
Okay.
I still have to go through the pricing for the 2024 stuff.
Okay. So now I would, if you're still have more stuff to price, you would stop here. But for example's sake, we'll say that you've priced everything and you're ready to go. Next thing you're going to do is scroll up to the top there. And usually I'm going to print labels. And so if you scroll up a little bit more. Oh, I guess I glitched out.
Yeah.
And now just load your label type.
Yeah.
You can back out at the end. You don't have to actually print them.
Okay. Hold on.
And usually, you know, I've got a show label that I've already got prepped and set up.
Yeah.
You know, the event check-in, check-out center is like assuming that you've already set up everything, you know, like your labels and stuff like that for the show. Now you just go to next once you pick your label. Next. And you can just go to now, before you click next, you don't have to do anything here. All those animals on your list are already selected. If you scroll down, you can see that they are. So, you know, you don't have to do anything here besides you're going to want the show pricing, right?
Yeah.
Probably, because you just spent time to set up a show pricing.
Correct.
So scroll up to the top and click show discount price for sale price. If you don't click that, it's going to show the normal price. Then click next again. Give me half a second.
There we go. And so I use a thermal printer. Do you use a thermal printer as well?
Yes, I mean, I've switched to the glory that is thermal printers. I'm still learning how I like with how it sticks to different objects. It's definitely different than like my Avery labels I was using before. But so Go ahead and click print one more time on that. It'll pull up. So yeah, the thermals are super awesome because it'll print out that. Okay, so here's where we cannot actually print them. I click print on that, and then bam, my whole list of everything I'm taking to the show. Like he's got 19, but it's going to be more when he's ready. Mine, like the last time I did my last show a couple weeks ago, was 78. And so in that amount of time, I click print, and a minute later, it's got all 78 labels printed out for me.
Yeah.
And then I click return to event. Now that I've got my labels, it's got you a little button right there. So you go straight back into the event, no clicking around looking for your stuff, fumbling. It's fluid. And so now I like a price list. I believe you can print a price. You can print a price list. It's either up on the top or down in the next box down.
Yep. Right here. Yeah. So they're already, like you said, you print the price list. And
so I take that with me to the show.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. I take it with me to the show. There's going to be a record. If you use Husbandry.Pro at the show, which it's designed to do with this new system, there's no need to have a paper record really, but I do a paper record to keep up with because, like you said, it gets hectic, it gets chaotic, and sometimes I'm like, man, did you get that? Well, the customer's gone. It's too late. I just go write it on the price log. I'll fix it later. I can always go back and update this system later.
Correct. Yeah.
But that's just how I use it.
Yeah. And I like the return to event instead of having to go back and redo everything or go back into the event. And then there's also there's a show price that we're just looking at, and then return to event, and then we have retail. So with that, is it price list? Let me see. Okay, here we go. Show price there.
Sorry, I cut out.
No worries. So because I was looking at
and any of the check boxes you uncheck there, that'll make it not show up on your price list.
Perfect.
Whenever you print it.
Okay. So let me ask you this.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Is there any ways to customize the columns?
What do you mean?
So for Florida, right? When we have to, if FWC asks us to see a inventory sheet, they don't want to see date of birth on it. They want to see quarter 1, 2, 3, or 4.
They want to see what?
They don't want to see like birthday per animal, whatever. They want to see like quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 of when the animal hatched or was birthed. Yeah, so that's if there's any way to customize like certain columns or add and stuff like that here.
Check the settings. Is there a settings up there? You got a cogwheel on that screen?
No, there is no cogwheel.
I think we have a table settings for that one.
Okay.
Let me find a pen. Let me jot this one down. Hey, this is why we do this, and anybody who's watching, if you see this and you're like, man, what about this? I like to do it like that. This doesn't work right. Throw an idea. Maybe we missed it like this right here. I didn't even think about a reason to need another column there.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And and that happened to me. I was Repticon Orlando last year. FWC was walking around checking inventory list and, permits and stuff. And, I'm feel comfortable. I got my Husbandry.Pro price list with me and I hand it to him. He looks at it. He goes, okay, you're missing 2 things. And there's 2 things that FWC requires for inventory list that, very simple things. And it's, the quantity of animals that you have on your list that you have on for vending that, what was it? That expo, the quarter it was born in, the show you're currently doing, which we already have here, right? The only other thing was location of my location, my facility location, and permit number on the list as well. So it adds a couple other things. But usually what I do is I get a spreadsheet and I'll copy into a spreadsheet or something like that. Yeah. So we have cuddle time critters.
So if we had some custom.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's in the commerce. Yeah. It's in the commerce option here. All the way to end, event check-in and out. Like Zac was saying, I thought I just had overlooked it all this time that I was using Husbandry.Pro. But they just released it about maybe a month or two, he said. So it's in here. And since you're asking, you go check in and you set up the event here with the information. But we'll go back into this. What are you gonna say, Zac?
Yeah, so I mean, I can look at that one. I wrote that one down too. Custom fields for your price list. Mm-hmm. So if you need that information on your price list to go to a show to be compliant, I don't see why that's not something we can get added. So
okay,
good one, perfect. Good one. I got that one wrote down too.
Yeah, and viewers, if you guys are watching, you guys have any questions, make sure to drop a question. We'll bring it up on the screen, answer it. And if you guys see that, there's maybe a feature that we're going over today, and you think maybe for a specific state you're in or specific species that you're doing, and there's maybe an idea, drop it down in the chat. We always, Zac always, the husbandry team always takes them in consideration, and has the minds of the meaning of the minds, and sees if it's feasible for Husbandry.Pro to implement it, and if it's worth the time that it takes to recode the system and stuff like that.
Well, and a lot of times stuff that people think would be super complicated is 30-second things. And then and this is one of the things that I have to realize so much, like I'm the smiling face here. Robert does the technology side, and and I have to just realize sometimes things that you would think that would be so easy are just days and days and hours of coding, and it's like, oh, so that's you're saying that's a no?
Yeah, it's fun because like because I have no idea about coding. I was like, man, they could just add that, right? And stuff. Let me ask you, and this is very off topic, how quick is it to add custom genetics in? Or let's say like Western Hognose, and I put in a ticket already. There's the new gene Swiss chocolates, the recessive. How quick is it for Husbandry.Pro to go in there and update their system to recognize Swiss chocolate, where I don't have to manually input it every time?
Ooh, we don't have a standard process for that at this time. We currently use what Morph Market has as the gold standard for genetics. Gotcha. So if they don't have it, we don't. We do have a couple of things that they don't have, because we've gotten, subject matter experts have reached out to us. We had one on short tails and reached out to us with a lot of genetics and stuff that, Morph Market didn't have. And, we vetted him, confirmed he was an expert and what he was talking about was true. And we went ahead and added them. But that's something where you would have to reach out, put in a ticket to us. And I'll look into it. I'm the one who would read the ticket. So that's probably something I can make happen pretty easily.
Okay. Sounds good. So going back to the event check-in and out, we're going down the screen, and these are animals that have been sold, correct? Down here?
No, that was where you selected the animals to move them into the show. Correct. So you filled your event. You start off down there. You pick your animals, you filled your event. They move up to the field above it. You don't really use this anymore unless you need to add another animal to the event. Like so you can build your event out. You don't have to print your labels till you're ready. Like you have more animals to price, right?
Correct.
Well, now you go and price the rest of your animals, come back here, add the rest of them in there. So you'd be back down here adding more animals again in this screen. But once you've got all the animals in the event that are going to the event, you don't have to touch that screen again.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything down below that one, right? That's the
No,
bottom fields.
that's the bottom fields and stuff like that. Just going through these.
It's weird when I'm not driving.
Going through some of these filters. You know, like I unselected is for sale, so now my 24 stuff is coming up. But like I said, you know, they still need to get priced. One thing I had a question was if they had it here was so you know, going into the 2024s, you know, Orlando will be the first show I bring my 2024 stuff to, and if they're for sale. But I guess we can do that because what I was doing before, I would um, filter them for how many successful feedings they've had to add it for sale. Um, you know, because I usually do 10 successful feedings with no scent, none of that stuff, and then okay, they're ready to go set for sale. Especially so close. Maybe if it was 2 months out, okay, I know all these babies are eating already and stuff like that. I want to go see the pricing sheet if there's a filter for that because there is.
I do not think there's a filter for feedings on any.
I know there is on. Yeah, there is on the animals list. There is.
Is it? Yeah. If it's a filter we already have for the animals list, then yes, it's as simple as drop a ticket and be like, hey, I need this in this screen because of X, and you know, probably 24 hours, you know, the next day, unless it's a weekend, we can have that added real fast. It's whenever it's something completely new that we have to find out a way to filter it and track it. But when we already have it somewhere else, especially if you can put it in the ticket, like, hey, this filter is on this screen. Can I get it on this screen? Easy.
Correct. Where's the success feedings right here? We got. So equals, you know, equals.
Oh, nice.
Let's say 8.
See, I work here. I didn't even know that was there.
Yeah. Hatchling rack 1, right? Let's apply that.
Yeah, I mean that's the way these filters get added, you know, because when we set up one of these screens, we set them up with everything we can conceivably think that you would want to filter on that screen, so it's not so super bloated. But if someone needs it on there, it's as simple as adding a ticket. You know, if one person needs it and it's something we have somewhere else, it's as simple as a copy and paste on the code, I believe.
Cool. Yeah, so like all these animals, you know, will be ready to go for the show. So that's cool. You know, and for anybody that, you know, does that, there is that option there. So let's get back to the check-in and in and out.
I'm the worst. You know, I'll squirrel us off. Yeah. Okay, so all right, so you're here, you checked all your animals in, it's gravy. You have a couple options now. You're at the show, you've already printed your price list, you've already printed your labels and got your displays ready. You know, Husbandry.Pro can't help you load the displays or decide where you want to put them on the display. So that's on you. And you get to the show. You have a multitude of options here. You can go to from this screen and have this screen pulled up while you're running the show, and you can scroll down there where all your animals are at in the list. And you see there's what's that green button right there? I do believe that's a sold button.
Mark as sold
on the right hand side. Yep. You can mark it as sold right there. Just go ahead and click one. You can turn it back off. And so you can put in a little bit of customer details right there to add a customer right there on site if you would like.
Perfect.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and add a Jane Doe.
Yeah.
Add me as a customer. I'm probably not in your system.
Wow. We need to get you some hognose.
I just want them for pets, but the cute ones are expensive.
They are. Especially if you want a Lucy.
I know. I want to, well, the only other one I'd want would be like a Super Conda Yeti or a Super Yeti, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So, you know, Parapad.
You don't have to fill all that out, but you know, like, you do
one thing you have to hit. Correct.
Contact type. Yeah, you have to do contact type.
Yep. You know how many times I go down to the save and I'm like, oh, contact type.
Yeah, you know, I think that's the only required field in there is like you have to do a contact type. They ain't got to have a name.
Yeah.
They got to have a contact type.
Yeah. And this is great too for future marketing things, you know. If somebody, you know,
I will
go ahead.
Now, this is like quick entry from your computer mode. There's totally a quicker way you can do this right here with your scanner. But But let's go ahead and finish this real quick, and then I'll talk about that.
Yeah. So, you can add all the information that you want, their address, phone number, emails, and we'll save. So we'll mark sold and put Zac. Sold date. We'll say we're in the show today. He's buying the most expensive hog nose I have on the table. And he said he's going to pay an extra $200. It was the only one on there.
Yeah, so this is where you can put in, like you haggled at the show, you took less money. This is where you put it in.
Correct. Can you save this without loading this information in?
I believe so. I know you don't have to do the notes. I think it'll take it without the sold amount.
Let's see. No, please enter sold amount. So let's put $1,000. Let me write this one down so I remember I gotta adjust it later on. Oh well, it's gonna show sold.
Yeah, it'll show sold, and then I'll show you how we fix our screw up.
There we go.
All right, now scroll back down. All right, well, too far.
Oh, right here.
You just have to do a little half a scroll right there, so you can click on that and see it, like some info on it right there. If you click on the little green tab.
Mm-hmm.
So your info about the sale right there. Or this guy backed out after I wasted my time putting all this info in, mark it unsold, and it's going to clear that out.
You want to let's run the
that so you don't forget.
Yeah, let's run the report.
Oh yeah. So
before we mark it unsold,
you run your report.
Yeah. So the report goes, and so like we were talking about, you don't have to sift through how many animals you have in your bin, returning back home, or the hand notes and stuff like that. If you mark it sold, if you're using the Husbandry.Pro on site, it's right there, animal sold. And it gives you all the information and the animals you didn't sell.
Yeah, so it's a nice little report to have there at the end. You know, big business, LLC and stuff. You're handing that to your accountant. Bam, here's my records from the show. Husbandry.Pro just saved you a bunch of accounting time.
Yes, very true.
You're a little bitty small fry. You probably don't even care about it, but you'll want it later if you keep doing this. You're going to want to look back and be like, man, where did I really make money? When did I make money there? And you're going to be able to pull or go back and look at these and see, this is what I made. You're not guessing. I think I made a couple $1,000s there 3 years ago.
Yeah. Or let's say there's 2 shows going on that same weekend and you want to choose between them. You can go back to your record and see, well, let's see what 2 shows I did best at, and it's an easy decision off there,
What I use this for most, I've only got a few in there since we've started doing it, but going back and looking to see what sold where. Because certain towns, different stuff sells. And so you can follow trends. If you're an analytics nut like I am, I'm looking at trends like, okay, when I go here, they're spending X amount of dollars. All my, 75% of my animals were between this threshold, where here it was all this. Every time I go here, I sell out of pies. Every time I go here, I sell my investment snakes. So, I know what to do the show if I've got more stock than where I can take everything, which happens a lot.
Correct. Yeah. So you don't, so you're not overpacking animals that aren't really going to move. You take a limited stock of that, and then you take most of whatever it is selling. I like that. Because that's another thing too, right?
Making you better at sales. Yeah.
And taking the animals in and out of the their bins here, and then put them in deli cups. And if you don't have to take them, then why take them? And it's less work for you as well on the upfront of packing in and out. So I guess Zac decided to back out. So they're asking me if I'm sure I want to unsell. Yes, do it. And it's back to
bam, you just marked that animal back for sale, cleared that data out of there. So the other way, if you don't want to pull this up on your phone, you don't want to type out their information, make the customers do this. People are used to doing this now.
Yes.
So what you do is, do you have a scanner hooked up to your computer?
I do not know. No.
Okay. Go to an animal that's for sale, pick a test animal you're going to remember, and go to an animal that's for sale. And then we're going to do an activity.
Okay.
Or what? Do you have invoicing turned on for an activity?
I do not.
Okay. Go to settings, activity settings.
Yeah, activities. Let's go. Let's do that.
And scroll down.
Invoicing.
Should be down towards the bottom, I think.
I might have taken it off.
No, it should show up as an option. Scroll up.
Well, remember, go ahead. Let me see. Multi-feed notifications. Because remember, you can edit like the activities if you're not using them.
You know what? I don't think you can turn invoicing off.
Okay.
Go to an animal and try to record an activity that we're going to use for our test for sale animal.
All right.
You'll have to go put them back, fix them back later.
Put one that's right in front of me. So go to activities, right? Post activity.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got a lot turned on. Preparing pre-labor image.
Yeah, I don't have invoicing.
What about, do you have anything down there in the other one? At the very bottom where it says other activity?
No.
Huh.
Yeah, I might have turned it off.
I didn't think you could take it completely off the list. Let me pull mine up real quick.
Yeah. Let's see. So, since you're looking at that right now, and this is another great part where like you have a lot of stuff on, or you can take stuff off as well. Like I took cleaned off. I'm not logging every time I clean an animal. And this is just on the general activities list.
Oh, wait, it's create invoice. There it is. Create invoice right there.
So I did
turn that on. That's why we couldn't find it. Because I'm an idiot.
Yeah. So here, primary animal list button. Animal list buttons when you look at the animal list, and that's like a quick on and off, correct?
So yes, the animal list button. So the toggle switch turns it on and off.
Mm-hmm.
Where it says active, that turns it on and off.
Correct.
The primary, you know how like when you clicked for an activity, you had freaking 47 options, and then you had like 4 other options.
Yes.
The 47 options are the ones you clicked as primary. You want those. So I have mine set up to show on my actual account, set up to show like 6. And then everything else, I put the 6 on there that I use all the freaking time. So I'm not hunting for them. And then anything I would have to hunt for that I don't do so often, I stuck it on the second page. But that's just how I use it.
Okay.
On my test account, it's all on the first page, every single one of them. It's just a crap ton of them as soon as you open the screen. But all right. So you're going to go post an activity for this animal. If you were at the show, you would bring up the, all you have to do is log the app, hit the QR scanner like you were going to record an activity or something.
Correct. Yeah.
Scan the animal's tag right there on the display, and it's going to pull up that post activity screen. That's where this picks up. It'll pull up this screen right here. And you're going to go down and click create invoice. Or where'd it go? Yeah, create invoice. All right. Instead of doing anything else here, you're busy. You're at a show. So I pulled out my phone. I already had my app ready. So all I did was double tap to wake everything up. I clicked the QR button, went boop, scan. And I said, all right, ma'am, I'm going to send you an email or a text message real quick so you can fill out your information. And if they're paying with a credit card, I've already asked them, how are you paying today? If they're paying with a credit card or PayPal, you have this, you Square or PayPal, you already have your system hooked up to it if you've set up your invoice. That's a different video. I won't go into that now. And so if they're paying by the card, you can be like, hey, I'm going to send you an invoice to pay. And you click on get info, that little purple button in the top. And you say, how would you like it? Do you want an email or a phone number?
Okay.
And hopefully they pick a phone. Usually I just ask for a phone number because I can type a phone number in faster than an email on my phone.
Yeah.
Correct. I'm like, hey, give me your phone number. I'm going to send you a link. I'm going to send you a link for your customer information before we pay. They're like, oh, okay. Bam. What's your phone number? Type it. Everybody can have my number. 903. 903 819 4805 and click send.
Does okay, Canada or United States. Okay. So there we go. Send.
And so now I click send. It's sending that customer a text message. While it's sending that customer a text message, doing its little Jimmy Jam thing. I guess it didn't close.
There we go.
Okay. You know, I'm bagging up the snake. So, you know, because I'm flowing, I'm going. So I'm like, here you go. Click, click, click. A couple, you're talking about less than 30 seconds to do that part once you know what you're doing. You just click it, scan it, type in their phone number. There you go. Let me bag your snake, get you your cute little stickers, some business cards. I'm sitting there talking to you because all you're doing is getting your, oh, look, I just got a message. Oh, go ahead, do what you're doing real quick. So I click a little link here on my phone. And what does everyone do nowadays? They autofill it. I click autofill, save. Oh, it makes me click my state. So then I'm complaining about having to click my state, which you got to click your state.
Yeah.
Boom. All right. Now you're bagging up the snake and everything. You've got the snake bagged. You're talking to the customer about, you know, the husbandry and stuff like that. And that should auto-populate all that information in there any second now. It might take a little longer because my phone is what I'm using for my internet here. And I just did it.
Okay.
Go ahead and put in the animal that we sold in there. See how it's already auto-populated them in there. If you want to do tax or anything, scroll down to the bottom on the invoice here. You would add in your tax or anything along those lines there.
Okay. So ship day if there's should be so this is
now this invoicing set up for any invoicing. So you know this is you can invoice if you're just doing work from like someone ordered a snake off your website or something. You know, messages, status. Usually like if they're paying right there, you're going to change that status to paid.
Correct.
As soon as they pay. Scroll up, see if I filled up in there yet.
Not just yet.
Click select customer and type in my name.
We had added you before, so it was already in the system.
Yeah, I'll have to check on that. It might have worked right because I was already in the system.
Yeah.
Maybe I was a bad test dummy. If they're not in the system, whenever it comes back to you, it takes like literally 10 seconds after they send the email or the text message. It automatically populates in their billing address for you. And then you would go down to either scroll down to the bottom. And if they're paying right now, you would do status paid and you can just save it. Or you can click on the status unpaid.
Okay.
Hold on real quick. I can't see.
Let me, there you go.
There we go. You can do save and mark animal sold. So you can either do save and mark animal sold, or you can click on the drop down and do the email or the text message and do send invoice. So if they're paying with credit card, you click on the email or the text message.
Okay.
Or manual. Okay. And then you do manual, create invoice. You can save and mark it sold right there on the spot, or you can click the button to have it send them another thing that asks them to pay for the animal.
Okay.
If they're paying cash, it's save and mark as sold.
Okay. So manual here, if we create invoice, let's say already paid, done. Let's see, receive payment. Okay, so you can add when you receive the payment and all that stuff here, or send the email. Correct.
That little section might be for whenever you're using it outside of it. Now you can do all that for sending people reminders, but that's part of the invoicing system for like someone's on a payment plan with you or something. You can set that up in our invoicing system. You can go in and enter a partial payment amount. It'll show you how much they still owe. You can send them an email reminder from there. But we have a whole video where we talk about the invoicing. I think actually Robert covered a lot of it last week or a couple weeks ago.
So it's already here in the invoice. I guess you can edit and there we go.
But the important thing, we're on the event check in, check out. if you go back to the event check-in, check-out system, like you're done with it now at the show. You did that. You click get info. If they were paying with a card, you click save and send, and it sends them a request on the top. Or you paid cash, you marked it sold. Now on the event check-in, you see it's already marked it sold in there. It's already entered my data. So that's how at the show, if you don't want to use the QR codes and you want to do it manually, you can do it from this screen real fast because it's got your sold buttons for you, or scan the QR, create invoice, get info, and then do it. Now, that one sounds a little more drawn out. It does take a couple more seconds to like set up, with the scanning and the, hey, get info, you got to type in their phone number. But that's the way you get your good sales records is, you get all their data. You get their phone number, their email address. You got good contact info for them. And it tags that person to their sold animals. So whenever you go into, now if you go into your phone book or whatever it is, your contacts, and you look me up, it'll show that I have that animal sold and that I bought that animal from you.
Correct.
And so I call you later and I'm like, hey, I'm John Smith. I bought this snake from you 2 years ago. I don't know what the genetics are. I don't remember where I bought it from. Tell me what I have. All I have for you is my name and a snake that is aged 2 years for me to look at a picture and hope to guess by. Well, I can go to my customer. I can go to my contacts, type in their name, bam. Because I did that get information. Now I have records on my customer instead of just having to worry. Just, I'm putting the burden on the customers whenever I do anything besides keep up with that info.
Yeah. And like you said, it might be 1 or 2 extra steps, but you have the information and the customer is doing it there while you're starting to bag the animal out, put it back in the deli cup, if it's in display, all that stuff. So that extra time really isn't extra time. It's used up. You're actually using it for a good purpose instead of the customer just sitting there watching you bag up the animal.
Yeah, it's a little bit more time on the whole process in the front part, but it saves you time on the whole process in the end because it's multitasking. You got free time while they're sitting there doing your job for you. You don't have to type in any of that customer's information except for a quick phone number.
And like you said, in the reports, there's the animal sold by customer. So you run that, it'll give you the every if you have a customer, it'll show you the name of the customer and every animal they've bought from you too. So it's easy to be able to look that up as well for the future.
Well, and if you pull it up on your cell phone at the show, you get that big 4-pane window and the big button is the QR scanner. So it's all like Husbandry.Pro QR scanner, boop, doop, instead of Husbandry.Pro, let me commerce, event check-in, check-out center, go into the event. Now I've got my screen pulled up. Now, if you keep the checkbox on, that keeps you logged in there. It'll stay up for a while. But, after a few hours of inactivity, it's going to log you out and you got to go back in there, find the event check-in. So that's why, the system's designed for you to scan the QR code and do the create invoice. But we throw in more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah. So let's say, we had a great show. We sold animals and we're back home. What's the next process for the event view here? Is it just going back and seeing what you sold, or is there something to take these animals off this event?
So when you have the event going, the buy now, I figured it out. The buy now feature's turned off in your store. So nobody can buy now a store that is an animal that's an event to stop them from purchasing an animal you might be selling to someone else. When the event date is over, it automatically turns that back on in your store. So you don't have to do anything for that. That's all completely automated. And I don't think at this point you can even turn that off. So you don't really have to do anything here. You're done. They're back in your system. You don't have to go back in here, remove them out because it knows because you set the date and the event is over.
Perfect.
Now, if you cancel the event or something and you want the store, you can do the bulk remove, like click all the check marks, bulk remove them from the event, but you want to keep the event open. I came Saturday. I had good sales, but my wife got in a car wreck. I got to leave on Sunday. I can't complete it. I want my animals to be for sale while I'm sitting at the hospital. Let me just go ahead and pull all the animals that aren't sold back out of the show.
Yeah.
Now they're back for sale in my store.
Correct. And then it's still marked. It still leaves the animal that was sold. You know, whatever. If you, let's say that you said that Saturday you sold one animal, is already still records already in there because I did the bulk remove.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the big things I use, you know, for time saving at the shows. You know, print your sales list. You know, there's one more thing I'd like to show when I come back. So you didn't do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had the best of intentions. So I hate this view. There
you go.
You had the best of intentions. You were gonna do this, but you got busy. It wasn't part of your process yet. It's crap. Well, I still wrote them down on my sales list.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I still got my sales records. I got some record. So I want to go through and I want to update my animals. A lot of people don't know about this one. If you go to the animal list screen.
Okay.
So many people are going through and manually updating all of these animals. So I'm going to go through here. I'm going to filter by for sale, you know, because I just got back from the show.
Mm-hmm.
And you got your for sale snakes. And then I'm going to go through here and I'm going to do the bulk edit, but you don't even have to use that bulk edit. We added another feature here. You can go down, you can either click on the checkbox or you can click on the row anywhere itself.
Okay, so let's say we clicked those two.
And then like click where the M is at on the next one.
We said the M?
No, not there, to the right. Anywhere except for on the animal ID.
Okay. So here.
Yeah, just click
selecting.
So you can click. So when you're doing this from a cell phone, that's super clutch right there. You know, you're not having to try to click the little box. You can just click anywhere except for the animal ID. Highlight the row of the ones that you sold. And now, as soon as you highlighted animals, you see on your left-hand side, you see that where it says quick filters, and you got the search bar.
Yes.
Now you see there's a whole new area underneath that.
Yeah.
That wasn't there until you highlighted an animal. From right here, click on that. And you can go down, change it to sold, and just click submit right there.
And then it automatically sells the animal.
Automatically sells the animal. You don't even have to go into the little bulk editor to look through each one of them. That's like a super shortcut. And that's also not relevant, but I'll throw it in there. That's how you can unarchive your animals yourself. If you accidentally archive something, you can search by archived, select the row, go to that box, and you can change its status. And it will let you unarchive. It will lock your animal if you try to archive it, unarchive it, archive it, unarchive it.
Okay.
It'll put you on a timer. For people on limits on how many animals they can have so they can't cheat the system.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's say I want to take a look at this bulk edit stuff. If, you know, marked sold and archived, right?
And then you would have to anything you want to edit, you have to check the box on the right-hand side, the toggle switch for that field to make it. There you go. So you can change whatever you want in any of those fields. If you don't toggle those fields, you ain't changing nothing.
Correct. Yeah. So let's say, you know, like if let's say it was Repticon Orlando and I didn't do the event checking it out, and I want to note that this stuff was sold Repticon Orlando, right? There, and then I can save, it'll archive it, mark as sold, and then I'll actually have a note that, you know, maybe I can go look back and see where the animal was sold in case I didn't get the info right from the customer. Actually, right, I'm blocking that out. But in case I didn't get the info and the customer maybe messages on social media or texts us later on and says, hey, I bought this animal from Repticon. Well, you know, I actually like to add, you know, because before the event stuff, I'll add the info Repticon Orlando, July 24, right? July 2024. So I can go maybe search that note and, you know, try to, you know, troubleshoot what animal the person got, you know, if it tries to explain it and adds a little more search information to it.
And then just changes when you're done.
Yep. And you hit
just
save.
Adds everything. I mean, so many people don't even know about that bulk edit. For the longest time, I think it was like almost 2 years, the bulk edit button did not appear unless you click to highlight a row, and there was no checkboxes. So you had no checkboxes to let you know you could select a row unless you just happened to click on a row somewhere and select it and happened to notice that little bulk edit popped up. So, we changed it to where it's always on and up there. So at least somebody can, be like, oh, what's this do? Oh, bulk edit. But a lot of people don't know about bulk editing. It makes life so easy.
The biggest thing I use bulk edit is when updating feeders for all the hatchlings and stuff like that as they grow. I bulk edit through there. Or feeding, what's it called? How often I'm feeding and stuff like that. Instead of doing individual, I can do a whole rack all at once.
Yeah. You can also do that if you do like a bulk feeding, like a quick activity for feeding. You can change the feeder type, click the toggle switch to update it. And if you did a bulk where you're doing a bunch of them, you update all your hatchlings at once. So you can do like a bulk feeding for I move this whole group over to the holdbacks and then I move them to a different size feeder at the same time. That's how I do it here. And then I just go through and I do a separate feeding for those 16 I just moved, change the feeder type on one animal. And so it's like a bulk edit, but I don't even have to go do a bulk edit. I just do it whenever I'm entering their feeding. And it bulk edits through the activity. It's like a little shortcut.
Correct. Yeah. All right. Anything else that you think we should cover for the shows? One of the biggest things that,
do we have anybody watching? Are we the two people watching right now, or no? It went down to one. So we still got somebody. Somebody's in here.
Yeah, somebody's in here. One thing that I did, that we didn't mention when we were talking about the labels and the QR code. I'm not sure. I know you did the label episode. If you have a table full of onlookers looking at animals, and you're talking to somebody, and they're trying to ask you questions of how many times it fed or what's the parents' genetics and stuff like that, you can quickly tell them, hey, scan the QR code real quick and you can get all that information, and it gets you, they're still at your table and they don't walk away, but you're still answering the question by that QR code.
Oh yeah, I see you, cuddle time. I do that a lot of times if I get busy and you'll see people looking and it's like, you don't want them to walk away, but you're right in the middle of closing up a sale or something. It's like, hey, if y'all got any questions, scan those QR codes down there. It'll give you the pairing. It'll show you all the hatch date, when their parents are, when they fed, all that good information. Correct. And they're like, oh, okay. And then I go back to what I'm doing. And if they're scanning and I see head nodding, I'm looking. If I see them scan animals and start to do any kind of head nodding, I'm like, okay, I got a potential sale right here. I'm being a good salesman and looking for sales flags. But that's something that can buy me that extra bit of time. Yes. And one thing, since we are talking about shows, it does need to be mentioned. It's been mentioned in several other videos. You need to be using public QR codes if you're at shows, so people can walk up and scan your QR code. If you actually, you can click on settings from this screen right here. Click on animal, click on the cogwheel in the right-hand corner. Wait, use past it. It's that section right above. A little bit higher. Right there.
Public.
The second one, use public QR code. It's in settings.
View public page. Okay. Use use XX.
When you toggle it off real quick.
Yeah.
Just toggle it off real quick. See, all that stuff goes away. This is by default what it'll look like. Toggle that on, and then you'll get those new fields. Fill out those new fields. Do that before you print any of your labels. If you've never done a show, if you don't even know what this is, go do it now. And this will let you control what they see. You don't have to, see where you've got feeding, refused feed, notes, weight. Mine literally shows weights. That's all I have turned on. You can see when I weighed the animal. It'll also show their birth date and the pairing info by default. But there's other settings in this actual settings where you can trim that down a little bit.
Yeah. So you can add, sheds, ovulations, pairings. You can add as much information to that QR code as you want. That'll come up. All right.
Yes. And this is like your little brief settings in here. If you go down to the menu settings, I think you can turn down. Oh no, there it is. Limit 15. You can limit how many of stuff they see, so they're not seeing 100 feedings. You can turn on the last 10. Hog knows that you're using 10. Turn on the last 10 so they can see they ate 10 times in a row. You're covered. You want to give it all to them? Set that thing to 99. Walk away.
Yeah. And everything. That's I love the QR code thing for the shows. And it's helped me out multiple times, especially when I'm vending. If I vend by myself and my family's not with me, that quick, yeah, just scan the QR code and I'll be right with you, and finish up what I'm doing and keep it moving. But
Something
yeah,
to keep them at the table, keep them from walking away, letting them know you acknowledged them.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And no one else has ever told them to do this. I guarantee 98.7% of the people who walk by your table as regular customers have never been told at somebody else's table, scan the QR code on that animal and see its information. So you're like, oh man, this guy is professional, and I mean, and it doesn't take that much work. It's saving you time and making you look better doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then what I always like to tell people is, you see all the information. Once you buy the animal, you can scan it, and I can even email it to you. You can have it permanently in your records. And if you join Husbandry.Pro, I can just transfer it directly into your Husbandry.Pro info.
Yep. You can also transfer it to people even if they don't have a Husbandry.Pro account. You can do the transfer info, just get their email address. It'll still send them a link to it, and they can click the link. It'll take them to Husbandry.Pro where they can set up a free account to look at their animals info there.
Perfect. Okay, that's great to know too. So they don't have to. Then that's another way to get somebody to use Husbandry.Pro and see how great it is. Yeah. So I've been using it for about a year or so at the shows. Any cuddle time, since you're here, and you're any pros and cons that you've seen with any of the so what's it called, features that you've used at the shows?
I'm still listening. I'll be right back.
Yep. Let us know. What was your favorite feature that you saw us either working through it tonight or that you already used at a show? I know we had Justin Ozark Mountain Morphs here too, and we vended at Dallas NRBC last year. Was it last year? Yes, September, or was it this year? Sorry, this year. And I know he's also a Husbandry.Pro user, and it's really cool. And I think little by little, this will become a reptile industry standard of keeping records and giving more information to a potential customer. So, Zac, anything that you want to bring up, or that we didn't cover that you can think of?
No, man.
Okay.
That's all I got off the top of my head. We covered the bulk of it. I mean, if anyone's got any questions, they can leave them in the comments. We'll come back and check them later.
Correct.
That's pretty much that's the bulk of what I do, man. It's so fast, man.
It is.
I get my sales, I get my animals priced as fast. I take 2 hours on pricing, and that's just because I go back and forth in my head so long on the thing, but it's 2 hours for me to figure out the pricing. It's 2 seconds for me to update it. I don't even consider that part of my process. It's so simple. And then making labels, that's going to be people's biggest complaint. This is going to get your labels knocked out for you in seconds. No typing, no crap. It's going to work with your Avery sheet labels. It's going to work with your thermals, any thermal that you've got. It's going to work with any kind of printer that you would have for any kind of system that you already use. You just do it from Husbandry.Pro, and it does all the hard part for you. Fills in all the data.
Correct. Yeah. And like we're talking about, the thermal printers are a game changer. Seconds to print, 100 plus, what's it called? Labels.
Inkless.
Inkless.
Never running out of freaking ink, like right before a show. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, oh man, it's right before a show, I'm low on ink. So these don't do color, but you can get some that'll do red and black, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But never run out of ink quick. And it's small. I got one that's like this big that just sits in a freaking, well, it's on my desk right now, but before it was on my desk, it was sitting on top of somewhere. It's so tiny.
Yeah. And one thing too is, like, personally, I use doesn't do colors, but you can buy color labels. So what I do is I buy pink and blue labels, and I use pink for the females and blues for the males. So it's a quick, easy identifying for the people at the shows as well.
Yeah, I've been getting into that too. Like I've actually got 2 thermals now. I'm bougie. I've got a big thermal to do my shipping labels, and it can do my lower labels too, but the big thermals don't print in higher definition. And so I've got, I like to put my logo and stuff on my display one. So I've got a smaller one that does high definitions, but it only does smaller labels. And I'm working on getting color tags for that. But like I've got these orange ones.
Yeah.
So, like I can't do color, but whenever I send my animals out, they go out on an orange shipping label, and then I've got orange shipping labels that I stick inside the box label. I just have it print 3. I put one inside the box. I put one under the lip, and then I put one on the top of it because it takes 5 seconds to print them. I'm like, it's easy to be safe.
And you don't have to worry about the ink. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so freaking cheap for the labels. You're talking about like, I haven't even done the math on these big ones, but they were even cheaper. I want to say the little ones I was paying like 11 cents a label, 10 cents a label. Like,
yeah.
Who cares?
Yep.
I don't even think it was that much.
Yeah. I guess thank everybody that watched tonight. We covered a good amount of the events and invoicing. Like Zac said, if you guys had any questions that maybe we didn't cover, drop the question down in the comment. Zac and the Husbandry.Pro team will take a look at it and give you an answer. And if you're already a Husbandry.Pro user, if there's anything that's going on in the system, drop a support ticket, and Zac will take a look at it and see if we can give you guys a hand with that. So
definitely.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Use Clover 60 to get 60-day free trial. Like I said, no credit card needed. So if you you don't have to forget to cancel if for some reason you don't like it. So, but just go try it out because I'm pretty sure you are gonna like it. So that'll be it for us tonight, guys. And we'll see you guys on the next one.